Well, good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? My name is Rob, and this is the RobMotive channel. Hey, today I want to get on here and talk about the differences between the Tacoma TRD Sport and the Tacoma TRD Off Road. You know, oftentimes when you go into the dealer, they might have one or the other, and they'll try to get you to go one way or the other depending on what their inventory is. But do you really know what the differences are? So I went through and I looked all this stuff up because I was curious myself. Right now I have the Sport model behind me here. I've had the off-road before, but it's been a while, so I kind of wanted to see what the differences were. And then also in the truck that I have on order, it's a manual transmission. So how does that compare to an automatic? So first of all, I've compared the TRD Sport to the TRD Off-Road. Both are in the automatic version. Price-wise, the TRD Sport is $36,965 and the TRD Off-Road is the same, $36,965. Now, in the manual version, the TRD Off-Road is $35,335, so a little bit less, which is surprising considering the rarity of manuals these days. You'd think it would go the other way, but it hasn't yet. Both trucks are 4x4 double cabs. Both are short bed. Of course, they have the V6 3.5 liter. That gives you 278 horsepower with 265 pound-feet of torque for both trucks in my comparison here. And miles per gallon, again, on the automatic version, is 18 and 22. If you go to the manual version on the off-road, what I currently have on order, it drops to 17 and 20. That's got to be because of the inefficiencies of a human, I am a human, shifting versus an automatic transmission. So let's go through the differences now between the Sport and the off-road otherwise. First of all, on the Sport, I can show you right here, you're going to get this lovely hood scoop. You guys can see right there, it has the hood scoop on it. You will, of course, not get that on the off-road version. It is just flat. Now, I probably will down the road change mine to the scoop version. In other words, change the hood, because I actually like the scoop, functional or not. Let's see, the TRD Sport has color keyed over fenders, whereas the off-road has black over fenders. Now, what's an over fender? Well, if I can get my camera unstuck from the Jeep right there, this is the over fender right here. On the off-road, they're going to be black, not color matched like they will be on the Sport. There is a color keyed rear bumper on the Sport. Let's show you that. Right here, of course, this. And on the off-road, we're going to have the dreaded chrome. I will, of course, be doing something about that. Next up, excuse me, on the TRD Sport, we have 17-inch alloy wheels with a 265/65 R17 tire. On the off-road, we're going to have a 16 contrast alloy wheel with a 265/70 R16 tire. Now, a few other things here that the off-road is going to come with. An inclinometer, if I'm pronouncing that right, an inclinometer for your inclination with roll and pitch displays, multi-terrain and crawl control with the automatic transmission. You will not get that with the manual transmission. And an electronically controlled locking rear differential. None of those items come with the Sport trim. Next up, we have four-wheel demand part-time four-wheel drive with electronically controlled transfer case and automatic limited slip differential or auto LSD on the Sport version. We do not have that, of course, on the manual, or I'm sorry, on the off-road. Next up, we have the TRD Sport tuned suspension on the Sport, of course. And on the TRD Off Road, we have the TRD tuned Off Road suspension with Bilstein shocks. You don't get those on the Sport version. Now, let's see, just for fun, I thought I'd throw this in because I came across it, thought it was interesting because I've wondered myself. There is a 40.6 foot turning circle diameter on both trucks. So if you're trying to get as tight as you can on that circle, 40.6 feet. Okay, now just a few little things of interest, I think. I thought these were interesting. And then we're going to get into manual versus automatic differences. The curb weight of both trucks, and these are automatics again, 4,445 pounds. Payload, 1,155 pounds. Fuel tank capacity, 21.1 gallons. And towing is 6,400 pounds. Real quick, warranty stuff, 36 months, 36,000 miles, that's the bumper to bumper. The powertrain is 60 months or 60,000 miles. And corrosion, and this is interesting because it seems it goes way beyond this, depending on the class action lawsuit at the time, but 60 months versus unlimited miles. Now, some differences between the manual and the automatic transmission. And I must admit, this first one, I really wasn't aware of myself until today when I went through and looked this stuff up. The automatic version has the smart key system. Now, what that means is you can touch on both sides to unlock the truck if you have the key fob in your pocket, passenger and driver's side, and it has push button start. Now, currently in my Sport here, and this is a 2018, I have the touch entry on the driver's side, not the passenger, and the push button start. Now, what does that mean for the manual transmission? Well, that has a remote keyless entry, and it locks and it unlocks and it has the panic button and of course the old key. So I'm not gonna have that smart key touch entry stuff that I was thinking I was gonna. Not a huge deal, would have liked to have had that, but didn't want to go to the Sport trim version. Let's see, the auto has hill start assist control. Well, obviously you're not going to have that on a manual transmission because as soon as you hit the clutch, you're freewheeling. But the manual does have active traction control, whereas the Sport does not. It also has the 6-speed manual transmission, which of course the automatic doesn't. Now, the auto has a 6-speed electronically controlled automatic transmission with intelligence. I thought that was interesting because it mentioned with intelligence. To me, that's the little part where it kind of learns your driving habits. The part that most people get very frustrated with, I think. Of course, the manual has the clutch. It has clutch start cancel. Now, differential ratios. We've been joined by a bee today. Joy. I'm not allergic as far as I know. We'll find out. The differential ratio in the automatic is 3.909 and in the manual it is 4.3. Supposed to be much better in the manual from everything I've read. The curb weight. Now here's where we get into a little bit of difference. The curb weight for the manual, or the automatic rather, was still the same, 4,445 pounds. But we actually put on a little bit of girth. In the manual transmission, it is 4,465 pounds, or 20 pounds rather heavier. The payload capacity, of course, is going to be reduced due to that extra weight. It's the same. The automatic transmission is 1,155 pounds, as I mentioned before, but now we've dropped, because of that extra weight in the manual transmission, down to 1,135 pounds. So, last but not least, they both come with a full-size spare. Huh? You know that's hard to come by today if you have a car, or maybe even some other trucks, I don't know. I wonder what the Ridgeline comes with. Does it come with a full-size spare or one of those little donuts? Or maybe just a compressor with that gunk that you spray inside. I don't know. Anyway, I just want to get on here and go over the differences. if anybody out there is in the market, you're trying to decide, well, there you have it. There are the differences between the sport and the off-road. And I even threw in the manual transmission just to see what we gain or lose. Kind of evens out, I think, there. Leave a comment down below. Let me know, which one do you like better? The sport or the off-road? As usual, appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time on the web. Have a great day. Bye.